Texas is the biggest battleground state.
And in 2020,
we have the opportunity
to turn our state blue
up and down the ballot.
We have the opportunity to expand access to affordable health care, finance our public schools, strengthen our economy, and take meaningful action on gun violence. There's so much more in the United States Senate.
We have the opportunity to pave the way towards a more sustainable future at the Texas Railroad Commission.
We have the opportunity
to elect judges
and the justices
who will restore fairness, equality,
and balance in our courts.
We have the opportunity
to shape the political future of Texas
and repair the broken systems
that disenfranchise working families in our great state.
We have the opportunity to ensure that Texans in positions of power
embrace empathy,
open minds,
and swing open the doors of possibility.
By working together
and uniting behind our shared vision of a more inclusive world,
we will win back our state.
We will win because we have to.
We have to put an end to the hate, the lack of access, and the suffering.
We have to deliver on the fair shot that every Texan deserves.
Our cause,
our movement,
is about the restoration of justice and the expansion of opportunity.
None of this can be accomplished unless we work together.
In order to bring lasting change to Texas,
we must work alongside every down ballot candidate, every activist, and every Texas Democrat
to continue building the largest democratic movement our state has ever seen.
We're asking you to be a part of this historic fight.
Together, we will create a Texas that we can all believe and thrive in.
Together, we will save Texas and in turn, save the entire country.
Join us.
Join us.
Texas is the biggest battleground state in the country. Our Democratic Party is building a future that is focused in equality and prosperity.
Our mission is innovative, inclusive, and hopeful. We are creating a Texas that we can all believe and thrive in.
Some of the boldest Democrats to navigate the halls of Congress have called Texas home, and some of them have even made their mark on the White House.
Texas produces progressives, trailblazers, and steady-handed leaders alike who consistently push the needle on issue after issue.
Our leaders champion the noblest of causes because we believe that our country is stronger when we celebrate diversity, live our values, and inspire unity.
Texas Democrats have built a movement founded on landmark policies and programs that make America one of a kind.
We safeguard our planet and fight for equal rights. We deliver on building an economy that works for all Texans. We defend a woman's right to choose, and we challenge the inhumane policies that set to tear our country apart.
While Texas Democrats may differ in their approaches, each one of them has fought like hell to change the course of history and leave our state that much more equitable.
We are the party that paves the way for the future because we cannot advance as a society until everyone has a seat at the table. Donald Trump can't win the White House without Texas, and we got a plan to defeat him.
We know that the strength and resilience of our movement means that we can overcome any challenge set before us.
We know that we will succeed because what we are fighting for is humane, it is just, and it is truthful.
Every day, little by little, our movement grows and our chants for justice ring louder.
We are shaping the political future of our state and ensuring that everyone has a fair shot at the American dream.
This is what it means to be a Texas Democrat. Because when we save Texas, we save our democracy.
And when we save our country, we save the world.
sticking with the spooky mood, but just all black this time. I lost my spider, it crawled away. We're so excited to have everybody back. I cannot believe how close we are to the end of this election. Each day seems like it's been longer days, but it is such a crucial time in the election to make sure everybody's going to go vote. Everybody knows where to find their polling places. Head over to mytexasvotes.com to see where and when you can vote. It's so easy. And to learn more about this, we have another amazing guest who has run an incredible campaign. She really is showing what people can do with coming from all backgrounds. I'm so excited to learn more about her, more about what she's sticking up for, and why we really need her to be representing the people of Texas at the federal level. But I'm even more excited that so many people have already voted. If you haven't voted yet, there's still time to early vote. This whole weekend has early vote. They'll all next week too. So there's no reason to wait till election day. Head up to the polls now, bring 3 of your friends, and get to the polls. Hey, Donna, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Great. Where are you right now?
I am actually home. I was working all day. We are right in the middle of early voting right now. So we're trying to get out the vote and wanted to jump on here and have a chat with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm also at home. If you hear a baby crying, my nephew's actually visiting. So he might get too excited because he's so excited about early vote right now. Well, I'm so excited to have you here. I love your campaign. I live just outside of your district in South Austin. So I see your signs everywhere, and I really think you're running such a cool program. And so I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. So I got some fun questions, some political questions, and then I got a little bit of a quiz at the end if you're up for it.
Okay, you got it.
First, you want to introduce yourself to everybody and just say why you're running a little bit and what you're standing up for here for the Texas.
Yeah, so my name is Donna Imam, and I'm running for U.S. Congress in Texas's 31st District. And Texas's 31st District is all of Northwest Austin, all the suburbs of Northwest Austin, and then it keeps going and going and going all the way till you hit Killeen, Texas, which is home to the largest armored vehicle military base in the entire United States. So it's a huge district. And as you all know, Texas is very gerrymandered, so our districts are all over the place, but it is a very interesting district, and this is a very interesting race because it's only 2.9% from flipping blue. And that was just 8,000 votes in 2018. And the person who ran in 2018 is MJ Hagar, who is running for the U.S. Senate in Texas. So many of you are familiar with her. So she and Beto O'Rourke brought this race so close that it's up for grabs now.
8,000. Like, that number is so feasible to think about how many votes that is. You know, it really proves every vote does matter. It could literally be your vote that gets our friend Donna to DC. So it's just so crucial everybody's out there voting. And I just am so excited to see the results because I really think you're going to pull this one off.
Me too. You know, one of the interesting things right now, early voting is going on, and Williamson County, you might have heard, especially if you're in Texas, has been leading almost all of Texas, especially in the the top 30 most populated counties and districts in terms of voter turnout so far. So the enthusiasm for early voting has been really high in Williamson County, which is very positive because when we get high turnout, Democrats win. So that's really, really a good thing for us. And that's what's going on. So we're excited. We think we're close. And this is a race that we can win and flip this district blue and bring representation because right now it's represented by a 9-term GOP representative who hasn't been there and just hasn't delivered for this district. And this district has changed. The demographics have changed. We had more than 65,000 new people move in just since 2018. And we looked at the voter registration numbers, by the way. And guess what? There's about an increase, give or take, 65,000 new voters registered in Texas's 31st district just since 2018 when this race was so close.
Wow, 65,000. That's plenty of votes to get you out there. Yeah. And so if everybody shows up to the polls, I know you can pull this one off. But I am really excited to hear more about your campaign. I want to start off with, how you got into politics. You have claimed that, you never thought you were going to be running for this. So what happened? What made you decide to go on this crazy journey of taking on this big task?
Yeah, this is definitely true, right? So my background is I'm a computer engineer, right? And I've been working in tech for a long time, and I have never thought of running for office. Politics was never on my radar. Now, that doesn't mean I wasn't aware of what's going on policy-wise. I watch the news regularly. I've been on top of the news and what's going on in our country for a long time. But I've never actually thought of running for office. That has not been in my purview at all. But over the years, this is what happened. Early on in my career, every single manufacturing worker at my company was laid off. Their jobs were moved to Mexico. Many of them never worked a day again. Okay, and none of them had any job retraining options. So that left a really traumatic experience that I had. It left a profound impact on me. And so throughout the rest of my career, I tried to help other people, get jobs or write a better resume or do their LinkedIn properly so they would land something better. And over the years, what I realized is that there's so much more we can do. In 2008, what happened was, we had the big recession, right, in this country. Mm-hmm. And Austin had some of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country. Yet, I knew so many people that were foreclosed on, even though they were well-educated, had good jobs, they had lost their jobs, and they were out of work for more than 6 months, sometimes up to 2 to 3 years. And during that time, I realized that we have a real challenge here, that you could have a decent job, you could be paying your bills, but you live in this economic anxiety that you could get laid off at any point, and you just don't have enough savings to see you through the time that it takes to go from one job to another. So about 6 years ago, it's probably 6.5 now, I joined a nonprofit. And this nonprofit was struggling at the time. It was thousands of dollars in debt. But we built it up into a 4,000 member nonprofit. We raised tens of thousands of dollars for it. And the reason that I got involved is it provides free training and education for anybody who wants it. And it was really through that experience I realized, you know what? We need to be involved in our own policies, in our own system, in our own future, because no one else is going to come and solve our problems for us. And it's out of frustration and seeing all these challenges not being addressed effectively that I got involved into politics and said, you know what, I'm going to get off my couch and see if I can use my skills to bring change to our country, to build a better future, to really help people solve problems like, not having any kind of health care or health insurance when they're unemployed, being in endless amount of debt just because, they have student loans, not being able to put a down payment on a home, and then what about graduating from college and then not being able to find a decent job in this country, right? You spend all this time and effort, and these are challenges we can solve. I'm really optimistic about it. And I think that average people like me who get up in the morning and go to work should take our skills to Congress and let's apply them. Let's build a better America. Let's build a better future for all of us.
I couldn't agree more. And I love that about your backstory, how you saw a problem and you realized you couldn't ignore it. You'd seen these people's lives and you had some questions, and instead of just asking those questions, you really decided to get involved and make an organization and really help them out. And that's what I love about your campaign too. You have a plan for everything and you have ideas that are so crucial that need to be talked about at the federal level. And I also think you have an interesting thought about why there's different types of careers in the government. So could you go a little bit into that? Like, why are there so many lawyers that are in the House of Representatives and not people that are coming from the tech industry that really understand the issues that are so pressing to us right now?
So it's a really interesting question. Why are there, a significant portion of our Congress tend to be in the law field or lawyers? Policy at many times when it's enacted is in terms of law. So a lot of times people believe that, in order to go into politics, they have to study law. But that may be one of the reasons. The other reason is lawyers in general, not always, tend to be on a higher income scale. So they may be able to save money and have the luxury of, running for Congress because, several years back, people who represented people at the U.S. rep level didn't get a big salary. It was a very, very tiny amount of money. So you had to have some other kind of income to be able to live off on, to be even able to serve your country. So it was, think about it, the way our country was, our Congress was configured, or our country's government was configured, was really for people who were wealthy, who were elite. It wasn't meant for people who work for a living. It wasn't meant for average people like me who get up in the morning and have to make a living to be able to pay our rent or our mortgage, right? It was really meant for people who had all this passive income and had the luxury of serving their country. So that has changed a little bit and has helped, because now Congress members do get a living salary that they can live on. So that could be one reason. But I'll tell you the reason why engineers don't go to Congress. Engineers in general, because we live in a very technologically advancing time of life right now, have pretty decent jobs. They make a decent middle class living, and they live somewhat comfortably compared to a lot of this country. Now, they're not super wealthy, but they have a lot of job security right now, right? So if you have a good job, you're probably going to stay employed, and so they don't go to Congress. There's really no need for them to go and leave their comfortable life, right? In many cases, right? So that's one reason. The other reason is that most people go into engineering to build and solve problems and do build new products, bring new technologies to market. So they don't think necessarily of going into public service or think of going into policy. But if you think about it, right now, the entire world is advancing technologically in such a big way, right? Like we hear about self-driving cars, machine learning, AI. It is important for us to have people in Congress that have a depth of understanding of what these technologies mean and how it's going to change our lives completely in the coming decades, right? So it does need to change. In addition to that, it's not just engineers. We need people from all walks of life to represent us in Congress, because different people bring in different skills. They bring in different ways of thinking about solving problems. And I think that makes our government better. It makes it more effective, and we bring better ideas.
Absolutely. It's so crazy to me to think that there's not these people that are experts in their field representing us throughout the Congress. We need people that have backgrounds like you that understand this tech world to protect all citizens, and to really be able to bring that expertise to DC is, I think, such an amazing part of who you are and what your campaign is really standing up for. So I love that.
Thank you.
You also brought up an interesting point about these people working in these tech fields. You obviously are in Round Rock, where Dell is based. You have a lot of constituents that you'd be representing that are doing this. But then also your area also has a lot of people not in these tech middle class jobs. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about your ideas on balancing representation between the large area that you represent of Central Texas.
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, Williamson County is actually home to a lot of people that have decent jobs, because we have Amazon and Apple and some of these big corporations, Dell Technologies, Google, have campuses up in North Austin. So a lot of the people that live in Round Rock, Cedar Park, Northwest Austin, or Leander have really good jobs. But for every single person that has a really good job, there are 3 people in this district that are kind of struggling to get by. And when you go from Williamson to Bell County, the makeup of Bell County is quite different. Because Bell County is home to a military base, you have a lot of active duty service members, but you also have a high number of veterans that live in this district. In fact, there are more veterans that live per square mile in my district, in Texas's 31st district, than anywhere else in Texas. And many of the jobs in Bell County, majority of the jobs are service jobs that pay less than $10 an hour. It is really, really difficult, and in fact, almost impossible to live on that kind of salary, at least live comfortably. It's extremely difficult. So we see young people in our district that are unable to move out of their parents' home and get their own place. And even if they have a somewhat decent job, they are living still with roommates for a very long time. They're not able to save enough money to put a down payment on a home and kind of start their own families. We see young people really, really struggling in Texas right now. So how do you solve that? So there are a couple of things that I'm a big proponent of. I'm a big proponent of what's called real pay for all. And what I believe is that, look, if you get up in the morning and you work for a living and you're working full time, you should be able to live where you work. And a lot of people look at restaurant jobs or service jobs as temporary jobs. And they say, well, you should graduate out of those jobs. But imagine this, if you're a teenager and you're like, you know what, I don't have enough money to go to college, or I can't pay to go to community college. Let me go work for a few years and save some money. It's really hard to get by on a service job and also be able to go to school, right? To do both of these things, it's not possible. But if you're working, you're actually creating value, whether that's in a restaurant or whether that's any other type of work that you're doing. You create value for corporations and companies, and you should be paid enough so you can live where you work and be able to save so you can actually go get an education or go get training or go to trade school, or maybe you want to get a Microsoft certification. But we have to give you an opportunity to do that. Otherwise, you can't graduate out of those jobs. You're stuck in those jobs forever, right? That's number one. Number two, people encounter all different kinds of scenarios. If you're a young person that happens to get pregnant when you're young and you're a single mother, it is really difficult to look after your child, hold down a job that's very low paid, and also get an education. And a lot of people are like, well, that's your fault. You made your decision. But at the end of the day, our society, we as a whole, we all pay for this. We pay for it in terms of mental health problems across our society. We pay for it in terms of homelessness. We pay for it when it comes to healthcare, when people don't have health insurance. And guess what? They file bankruptcy because they went to the ER room. Somebody pays for that. All of our premiums goes up. All of our deductibles go up. So when we say that I'm just going to ignore these people, all we do is make things more difficult for people to climb out of. So what I'm saying is that, look, if you work for a living, we need to pay you well enough so you can actually live where you work. And we need to give you opportunities to get the education and training to go to a higher paying job. So that's what I'm an advocate for. And I want you guys to know this. If you're watching this right now, we create more than enough wealth in our country to be able to provide these opportunities to every single person. Right now, we have corporations and a very small number of really, really wealthy people that are accumulating the wealth at the top. And most of this wealth is not even in the United States. It's being stashed in the Cayman Islands and all kinds of tax havens. You see billionaires with 7 catamarans. You can't be on 7 catamarans at the same time. We're not asking for, an island of our own. We're asking for a safe place to live. We're asking to be paid based on the value that we create. That's it. And we can do this. I want you to understand that we can do this. We create a ton of wealth. We can get healthcare for every single person. We can get real pay for all. And these are solutions I want to bring to Congress. And I want people to know that we can do these in a cost-effective way. Don't let the GOP tell you how you're going to pay for it, because the truth is this: we are already paying for it.
Donna, I love listening to you. I think your ideas are so ingenious. I mean, I even heard I heard a quote from you earlier today, and it was like, our technology should be making education cheaper, not more expensive. And I'm like, how have I not thought about that? Like, we're not even paying for textbooks anymore, but somehow the cost of education continues to go up. And the system just needs people like you to be able to go in there and point out these clear flaws and come up with these ingenious solutions. And I love that about you and your campaign.
Thank you.
Of course. All right. Well, so I got one more question for you, and then we're going to do my little quiz.
Okay.
I'm wondering if this is going to be a campaign promise or if you're going to go through with this. But you did promise everyone in Congressional District 31 samosas if you win. Is that something that's still going to be on the table after November 3rd?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Texas's 31st district has always been red, okay? People look at Williamson County and they say, it's all red up there, we can't do it. So if we flip this district blue. We absolutely have to celebrate. And I am going to, roll up my sleeves and make samosas. I know it's going to be hard with the pandemic, but we're going to social distance. We're going to get out, and hopefully after November 3rd, it'll cool down in Texas and we can get outside and do this. But yes, I'm going to make samosas for everybody and put my skills to the test. And I'm not that bad. And if I mess up, my mom will help me out.
Perfect. Well, they look delicious, so I'm definitely waiting in line for one, no matter how long it takes. Like, I gotta get one of those samosas.
Yes, you must come.
All right. So my little quiz is kind of based on, your tech experience, and you're, into some trendy things, I think. So I'm gonna give you a past internet challenge.
Okay.
And you're either gonna know it and describe to me what it was, or take your best guess.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start with a classic, the planking challenge.
Oh yeah, I know what the planking challenge is, where you like get all flat in different places and people put photographs up in the most craziest places. Yeah, I've seen that.
All right, how about the Kiki challenge?
Like K-I-K-I or K-E-K-E?
K-I-K-I.
Yeah, that one I don't know.
All right, what's your guess?
Oh, shoot. I have no idea. Kiki challenge. Gosh, don't know. I don't even know.
All right, so this challenge was brought to you by Drake, our Canadian artist. And it was the one where you dance outside of your car while the car is moving. And there was a certain dance to it that you had to while dancing to his song.
Okay. I missed that one, I guess.
Okay, how about the rotating corn challenge?
Rotating corn challenge. That sounds like a dance move too, but I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna guess dance move?
Dance move, sure.
All right, so no, not quite. It's where you put an ear of corn on a drill and you try to eat it while the drill is going.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, there was some problems with people getting their hair caught or, losing a tooth, so I'm not publicly recommending it, but definitely go check out the videos. Okay, how about the Chubby Bunny Challenge?
Chubby Bunny Challenge. No idea. I have no
You got a guess?
Chubby Bunny Challenge. Oh man, don't know. You have to tell me.
All right, it's where you stuff as many marshmallows in your mouth and say Chubby Bunny as possible. And the more marshmallows.
Actually, that makes sense, because you would do that at Easter with the little bunny marshmallows you get. Yeah, I should have gotten that.
You're so close. Okay, two more. The Kylie Lip Challenge.
That sounds like a Kardashian thing.
Yeah.
Where, I think Kylie is a Kardashian, right?
So yeah, you're on the right track.
Yeah,
so it's where
I don't know what she did with her lips, but I'm guessing it's like some sort of like take a photograph of yourself with a duck face or something like that, maybe.
You're close. So you have to put your lips like in a shot glass and suck, and then they make them bigger, and then you take a photo afterwards.
I see.
Okay, it's your last one. The cheese challenge. Cheesed challenge.
Cheese challenge. Yeah, no idea. Sounds like something to do with cheese, but I don't know.
This one got pretty popular on Twitter this year, and it's where you have a baby and you're a parent and you throw a piece of cheese and try to get it stuck to their face.
On the face of the baby?
Yeah, and then it's like a smile.
That sounds like a lot of things could go wrong.
The internet's a wild place. Yeah. Well, Donna, this was such a great time. Are you going to be watching the debate tonight?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I really hope that, Trump behaves himself today and actually gives us some answers. Because here's the fact. COVID is a mess. We have millions of people unemployed. We have so many people that have died in a hospital without being able to say goodbye to their loved ones. Guys, don't let other people decide your future. Please come out and vote. Right now, Williamson County is beating Travis County. So in Travis County, if you're out there, go out there, vote for Julie, vote for Mike, vote for Wendy. Come on out and vote. Let's turn Texas blue. But most importantly, let's make sure we give Austin its title of being blue. Let's make Austin really blue like it is. Let's give it blue representation.
I couldn't agree more. All right, Donna, where can people find you? What are your socials? What's your website? How can they get involved in your campaign? Where can they give you money? Let the people know.
Awesome. So go to votefordonna.com. And if you can donate, that's amazing. But if you can't donate and just want to be involved, we would love your help phone banking. Right now in Bell County, we need help getting out the vote. We'd love for you to call. We're doing a big lit drop this weekend. So if you're in the area and you want to join us, come on over. Let's go put some lit on people's door. Let them know to come out and vote Donna. We need to get out the vote. So that's votefordonna.com. And all my socials are Donna Imam TX.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for having this time. I can't wait to see you in DC. You're going to have such good ideas. You're going to make waves, and let's turn Texas blue.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. You have a great